All right. So we are the designers and publishers of the games that we'll be showing you today. Uh, we actually design games with a Indian theme. All right. So we're trying to tell different stories from India to Indians themselves, and also to a lot of to the rest of the world as well, for them to enjoy the themes and the cultures of India. So this first game that we're actually showing you is actually a light strategy game. So when we say light strategy, it's good for all ages, families who are new to gaming. Okay, so this is a perfect game to introduce people to something called modern strategy board game. So when you actually look at Monopoly and Scotland Yard and Ludo and games like these, those games are actually called classic games, meaning they have been there for many years, and the rules haven't changed over time. Okay. They're more luck based, where you roll a dice and stuff like that. The games that we will be showing you, these are introducing Indians to a whole genre. This is a genre of games which is very popular across the world. Okay. So we're very happy that these games are going to be on the shelves of Hamleys, because it's high time we introduce modern strategy games to our Indians, because Indians have a very high IQ anyway. So, if you look at, India as a market, we are a market full of nerds, right?
दूध में
So,
डाल हाँ सर ऐसे नहीं होता मैं ले लूंगी
all okay? You guys are able to hear us, right?
Yes, yes. And, in case if there's any kind of a disturbance in between, of course, I'll mute them.
Cool. So, first, most important thing is, you might be wondering, what is modern strategy board games? So, when we say modern strategy board games, the luck element is low. Okay. Meaning it's mostly strategy based, and also the players have control over the outcomes. Okay. It's not like Monopoly or other games where you roll a dice and you can't change anything, right? It's very luck based. So these games are actually called modern strategy board games, where these games actually you have control over a lot of the outcomes, and they are called modern strategy board games. Okay. So this particular game, we are the design.
मीटिंग रिकॉर्ड हो रही है हमारे पास नहीं हो रही रिकॉर्ड का आ रहा है वो उनके पास हो रही है वो
Uh, yeah, you can see the screen, right? If anybody has questions, please let us know on
Yeah,
the
yeah. Screen can be
chat.
seen.
Okay. So we are from Mosaic Games. We are an Indian company who make games with Indian themes. This particular game is called Vallam Kali. It's a light strategy game, perfect for families, and it's a great entry game for people to get into modern strategy. It's called Vallam Kali. It's based on the boat races that happen
सही
in
तो देखने के
Kerala.
बाद उसमें क्लियर तो वो वाला कैमरा तो अच्छा लेके ले थे
Team,
कौन सा गेम
if I see you guys go on unmute, no, I'll unfortunately have to remove you. Please be mindful. There's a training session going on. Please ensure you're on mute.
देखो ना फिक्स क्या है
Yeah. You can actually select mute all.
Yeah, but if I do that now, then you will also go on mute. That's
we
why.
tried
Yeah, I mean, because we just did a mute all, and
Yeah, I think
think
you,
all
because
good.
I've made you the co-host. You do that. Great. I have no
Yeah,
problem.
super. All right. So this particular game is called Vallam Kali. It's based on the boat races that happen in Alapura. If you feel saying Alapura is difficult, you can say Alipi. Okay, Alipi is the name of the city where these boat races happen, and these boat races happen in the backwaters. Okay, it's not in a river, it's not in the lake, it's in the backwaters, of Alipi. Okay, Alipi actually has a lot of such water canals and things like that in Kerala. So if anybody is from Kerala, you'll be knowing all of this. Now, these are actually called long snake boats. Okay. So these snake boats actually have 183 oarsmen on one boat. All right. So immediately you know that this is a game based on boat racing. One. Second, there are a lot of people on the boat. So all of them coming in sync is very important. So rhythm plays a big role in this game. Okay. So it's a boat racing game based on the boat races that happen in Alipi in Kerala. And this game actually comes with one of the longest boards currently in Indian games. Uh, this is the backwaters, and if you actually see this, this is how long.
These are like jigsaw puzzle pieces. You can just
Yeah, you
assemble
can
it.
assemble the pieces, and all of that is mentioned in the rule book or the game manual inside the box. Okay, so the story of the entire game is also mentioned here, but more importantly, it's a boat racing game where each of the players is going to get boats. Okay, they have different colors, and there are 6 such boats. So this particular game, as mentioned, you will notice on the box also that it's a 3 to 6 player game. Okay, so up to 6 players can play this game, and you need minimum of 3 players. And second thing is it's 30 minutes and above. Though the age group is 14 plus, even a 10-year-old, 8-year-old can also play the game. Okay, it's a very simple card-based racing game. So you will see that there is a board inside. It's 42 inches long actually. Okay, you will have to assemble it with pieces. What you're seeing here is a demo copy of ours, which has gone through a lot of plays. So it's a little bent, but inside all of these boards are already included. And you will notice that as part of the components. And it also says requires assembly. Okay. So this particular board has to be assembled like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just 4 or 5 pieces. It's not difficult. Now, next important thing is people will ask you, how do you race? Right? So all of that is mentioned here. In fact, if you just remember these 4 things, that is also more than enough. Okay. You can just read the box, read the back of the box, and all of the components list, what is the story behind it, and how the game looks. Everything is, clearly visible here. And most important thing in this game is first, you bid for oarsmen. So you'll be building your team. Second, you race, and rhythm plays a big role. Third, you bet on the winner. So, in case when you're racing and you are lagging behind, you can bet on the winner and still win the game. Okay, it's not only about racing. You can also, if you make the right bets, you will actually win. So, you might be wondering, where do you bet? So, this is where you bet on boats. Okay, so this particular first column is related to this boat, and people have already bet on boats. So you're on the board also, you will see that the last piece of the board will say place your bets here. Okay. So first step, what you do is bidding. Okay, like IPL matches, you bid for the teams bid for players. No, similarly over here also, you will be bidding for professional oarsmen. If you actually see the different colors, these black color cards are professional oarsmen. And these professional oarsmen, if they join your team, no, your chances of winning will increase. But that does not promise that you will win. Okay. So one thing you will notice in this, it's a boat racing game, but there is no dice, right? So first thing is, if there is no dice, how will the boats move? Boats move using cards. Okay. So if you notice, everybody has played 3 cards here. So these 3 cards the red player has played is 1, 1, 1. That means 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3 spaces, the boat will go forward. Similarly, green player has used a professional oarsman. So if you see the numbers, it is 1, 2 plus 4. I don't know if you can clearly make out, but it's on the box. We'll share all of this with you. Okay. So this particular boat goes 7 spaces forward. As simple as that. So you just move the boat that many spaces on the board. Yeah. Uh, Another very important thing in this game is that all of the players also get money. Okay. The money is used for hiring professional oarsmen, and some of it is also used for betting on boats. Okay, so there are two places where you use the money in the game. Now, the most important thing about this game is the game is simultaneously played. There are no turns as such, in the sense there is nothing like one player plays and then you wait for the second player, third player, fourth player, like that. Over here, all the players will show at the same time and we all move the boats. Okay. So, red player, green player, if there are three players playing, they will all reveal the cards at the same time. And then you count how many spaces they're going and you move the boats forward. As simple as that. Yeah. Are we okay till now?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So,
Yes, sir.
just to reiterate, it's a boat racing game based on the boat races in Kerala in this city called Alipi, where they race in the backwaters. So, the backwaters is the board and it comes in five parts. You'll have to assemble it. All right. Now, most important thing in this game is there are boats and there are no dice.
How to distribute the cards, someone has asked.
Yeah. So, in this game, let me just open it so you get an idea. All of the instructions are there in the rule book, okay? So you'll notice these cards, they are in colors, okay? The black color ones are the professional oarsmen, which you will be bidding for with your money. This is the money. Everybody will take the color of their money and the boat, pink, and the pink team. Okay, so that's what everybody gets. So in this team, everybody gets their deck of cards. There are around 16 cards or something, but you don't have to go to that level until and unless they're going to ask you how to play the game in front of you. So I would suggest don't go to that level where you have to explain the entire gameplay of how you distribute the cards and all of that. So typically what we do is if anybody asks like that, we just tell them, hey, the rule book is inside. And also, if you just Google for Vallamkali how to play videos, there are how to play videos on YouTube. Okay. They can either scan the QR code or they can just search on YouTube or anywhere how to play Vallamkali. All right. So don't go to the level of showcasing how the bidding goes, how the betting goes, how the racing goes, how the cause, rhythm is formed and stuff like that. The moment you tell them that it's a boat racing game from Kerala, right? And it comes with a beautiful board and there is no dice, you play with cards, they are already very happy. Okay. So is that okay? Any other questions you guys have?
So this is their character names.
So yeah, these characters have different artwork as well. And that actually comes into play when you play the game. So typically, you every player gets their deck of cards is the equal number of cards. Okay. Everybody starts with the same team. And then everyone gets their own money as well. You start off with 15,000 rupees and then you decide. Actually, you guys will have a lot of fun playing this game. So, yeah, all of the entire game is manufactured in India, manufactured in Bangalore. And, you can actually tell them it's fully made in India, nothing is imported. And all of the story is also mentioned here. Okay. So any other questions, you can feel free to ask me. So simultaneous play, meaning everybody play together. Okay, that's what it shows here. Everybody reveal their cards together. There are also certain milestones in this game. So if people ask you, when do we bet? Okay, that's a good question. Where on this board, you will notice that there are certain milestones. You see these wooden logs in the water, right? So these are milestones. Okay. Every time a boat crosses a milestone, you can bet. And how much you can bet is mentioned here. Okay. So how this here it says 5,000, here it says 3,000, here it says 1,000. So up to 5,000 rupees you can bet on a boat. So assume that green player is doing really well, people can actually start betting on the green player. Okay. How do you place bets? On the corresponding column in the board, you start putting money there. Okay. And you can distribute your money also. You don't have to put all of the money on one person. You can actually put it on different players. Now, the reason why we have introduced this betting feature is because when you have a racing game, a lot of people would feel very disappointed if they cannot catch up with the leader, right? So if the leader is going off forward, you'll start feeling bad and that you can't catch up, right? In this game, the other strategy that you can use is if you're not racing well or you're lagging behind, you can at least bet on this guy and win. Okay. So how do you win this game? You win this game by it's mentioned on the board also in a small font there. Okay. If your boat wins, you get 25,000 rupees. If your boat comes second, it's 15,000. If it comes third, it's 5,000. But if I bet on a boat and that boat surprisingly wins the race, then I get 4 times the amount of money I put on the boat. So I could have put 8,000 rupees on a boat and I will get 32,000 if that particular boat wins. All right. So there are multiple ways to play this game, and there are multiple ways to strategize. So it's not only about winning the race; it's also about making the right bets. Okay. So it actually introduces people to something called predictive probability. It's a very popular game mechanic that Indians love. Indians love this kind of mechanics where you put X amount of money somewhere and you get 10x, right? So that's one of the main reasons why this game has become extremely popular across the world. Now, uh, you might be winning. You might be wondering, how do you win the game? So if you look at this, the moment a boat crosses the finish line, that doesn't mean they're the winners. They're winners when they go the who has gone the farthest. So it could be something like this. They have crossed the line, but who has gone the farthest? So green is the winner, second is pink, third is purple. So that's how the game is played. Yeah. So how do you decide who the winner is? You decide the winner by how much is the total amount of money they have got at the end of the game, not by winning the race, but by calculating how much money they have collected. So by winning the race also you get money, by betting on boats also you get money. Finally, you will see who is the total and then you decide who the winner is. Okay, that's how the game is played. Sort of okay till now. Now, if somebody asks what makes this game replayable, right? What is the elements that makes the game replayable? This is the most important part. There are certain events which will happen in the game, like this. Okay, there are around 10 events, nine events. So there are 9 event cards if you notice here. Okay, at the start of the game, what you do is you randomly take an event card and you place it at these milestones. Okay. So what this game essentially, these cards essentially do is when there is a huge lead between a player and somebody at the back, it will reduce the gap. Okay. So the goal of these cards are to reduce the gap between the leader and the lagging people lagging behind. So it's called a catch-up mechanism. So this particular cards are added at random. So you don't know which one is going to come. Okay. So you will reveal when you cross that milestone and you finish your betting and all that. This particular one says there is water on the boat. It affects only the leading player or players, meaning if there are two players who have tied for the lead, okay, it'll affect both of them. That's what it means. So they will come back 2 spaces. All right, you see how the gap will reduce. So like that, there are multiple event cards in this game, which will also add to the surprise element in the game. So people will keep asking, okay, how do you bid and things like that. All of that is mentioned in the rule book and also in the how to play videos. Okay. How to assemble the board, what is the milestone, who are these professional oarsmen, how much money to give to people. Everything is mentioned in the rule book. All right. So how the bidding happens, how many components go into 3-player, 4-player, 5 players, 6-player game, everything is mentioned. How the bidding is done is we all will keep some money in our hand and then try to bid for the professional oarsman. And then we reveal whoever has the highest money will get the professional oarsman. Okay, so these professional oarsmen will strengthen the team basically. So they will add to the strength of the race of the team. So there is a quick reference and everything in the rule book. It's a very detailed rule book in the box. Okay. All right. Any questions till now? So this video will be available for later also, right? They can listen to it or
Yeah, I'm also recording it. And once we are done with this, no, we'll also be circulating this entire recording to everyone.
okay, very cool. So this is it. The game is very simple. Boat racing comes with a big board, and it's a simultaneous play kind of a game where there are no you don't have to wait for your turn and things like that. And all these are super solid. So they're rock solid actually, very, very strong. Uh, and another thing is there are no dice. You race using cards. Okay. So that's how the game is. And most important thing is it's 3 to 6 players, not longer than 30 minutes. Okay. It'll finish in 25 to 30 minutes max. The beauty is because it's a simultaneous play, even if 4 people play or 6 people play, it'll always take 30 minutes only. All right. And the entire family can play, and this is how the game looks. It'll tell you what all components are also there. So they can take a look at it. It comes with a lot of components. Yeah. And the gist of the game is mentioned here. Yeah. All right. So shall we start with the next game?
Yes.
How many of you are from Kerala? Is there anyone from Kerala in this team?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see some yes, Vaishnav is saying.
Yeah. So you must have seen the boat races, right? So yeah, there is also a song which goes with the race. It's called Kuttanadan Punjiyale. It's a very popular song.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So ignore this sticker. This sticker is just showing that it's part of our company. Yes. Sonu knows the song. Very cool. All right. So yeah, that was a light strategy game which we showed you. So people will ask you.
The next line also.
He's finishing the song for us now. All right. So,
That's
so let's get to the next game. This is one step higher when it comes to strategy. Okay. So this game is called Indus 2500 BCE. Okay. If you actually look at it, this is how the artwork is.
I'm still getting very excited.
Vaishnav, calm down, man. I think you guys need a game session in your office. So you guys are going to have a blast. Okay, very fun team you have there. So this particular game is based on the Indus Valley civilization. All of us have heard about it, studied about it in school. In this game, you're actually building a city in the Indus Valley civilization. So each one of us is given a sheet, which is the map on which you're building your own city. Okay, so all of us are actually building a city in the Indus Valley. And the goal of the game is to see who builds the best city which can actually survive all sorts of calamities. Okay. So again, the calamities that hit Indus Valley are like earthquakes and floods and landslide or drought. And because this game was designed during COVID period, we also added a calamity called plague. Okay. So if you actually look closely, it shows a rendition of how Indus Valley might have looked with the upper level and lower level, with the bathhouse, granary, the river, Indus going, or Saraswati that a lot of people who know about it, they call it actually Saraswati civilization. Um, so this box also comes with a lot of details and analysis about how, what inspired us to make the game, how much of the Indus Valley civilization is actually included in the game and stuff like that. Okay. So first thing that I wanted to see is designed by Mosaic. It's called Indus 2500 BC. That was the era it belonged to. And this is 1 to 5 players, meaning even one player can play. Okay, it's called a solo play. All right. And you can play up to 1 to 5, even 6 players can play, but we have put on the box 1 to 5. It takes around 45 minutes to 60 minutes to finish. Okay. And we are putting 14 plus because it's slightly higher on the strategy side, but we have seen 10-year-olds play the game like professionals. So don't worry. You can actually tell them it's a fantastic family game again, because in this game you're actually drawing. You're drawing on a map. Okay, there are pens inside where you'll actually be filling up the city with certain structures to build your own city. Okay, you'll be putting houses, you'll be putting canals, farmland, forests, and reservoirs and bathhouses and stuff like that. Okay, so let me show you how the box looks. Again, all of the components are mentioned here. What are all the components? So people might ask you how many of these sheets are there? There are 200 maps inside the box. Okay, they're front and back. All right, so up to 200 maps that are there in the box. I'll show you how it looks, and they're different cards and pens and stuff like that. Okay, the story behind the game is also mentioned here. All right, and very simple thing, it's a strategy game with flip and write mechanism, meaning you will be flipping cards and writing on the map. All right. So that's why it's called a flip and write strategy game. Now, so we have done a lot of analysis for this game. In fact, uh, this is actually photos of Mohenjo-daro. You will see how the walls are, and that particular structure is always on the top. So every city in the Indus Valley has 2 levels, and that's what you will see. There is an upper level and a lower level. Okay. So, like for example, Mohenjo-daro, Daro means heap or a hill. Okay. A lot of people call it the Mount of the Dead and stuff like that. All those are just rumors. But basically, any city in the Indus Valley has 2 levels. That is how they have built the cities. Why? Because the animals from the forest should not run and finish off the grain. So they would build the granaries and stuff like that on the upper level to protect the rice. There was no wars or enemies at that in that era. So this is how a map is. Okay, you get a big booklet, and these are front and back. All right. So you'll have to just take one map, tear it, and give it to each of the players. There are 200 maps. So even if 4 players play the game, you can play 50 games. And if they run out of the map, there are extra maps available if they just Google for it. Okay. Now, this is how a map looks. Okay. There is an upper level and a lower level. All right. So on the upper level, you can build certain structures. On the lower level, you can build certain structures. That's what it means. So what are the types of structures? You'll be filling it up with houses, canals, farms. It's very easy to draw also. This is basically just one line and then one square, and then you scribble inside that, right? So there are different structures that you actually build. You also build some special structures like the granary, the bathhouse, and stuff like that, and also reservoirs. And this is a strategy game. If somebody says, Is it like Catan or something like that?" You can say, "Yeah, it's like Catan, where you're actually building a civilization by collecting resources." Okay. But it is very different. There is no dice in this game, number one. Second most important thing is you're actually drawing your city in the game. Okay. Now, this is a typical map how somebody has played. I don't know who this is. It says Mohenjo-daro. Anyway, you can actually write your city name on the map. This is how somebody has built. So, the houses are drawn, there are canals drawn. So it's just how to draw the canal, right? It's very simple. And walls are drawn. These are certain walls between these squares. So you're actually filling up the squares. If people are familiar with a game called Tetris, there it's actually like filling it up with Tetris tiles. Okay. So to give you an idea, these are how the cards are. Okay, you'll notice that there are different shapes. So you're actually filling up the city with different shapes like this. All right. Now that particular card also says if you draw this shape, you have to fill it up with either houses or forests. So that's how you start filling up the city. Okay. Now, why are we building a city with all these structures? Right. That's the first question they'll ask. Why? What is the objective of all of this? You have something called scorecards. All right. There are multiple types of scorecards in the game. So the beauty about this game is even if you play it the thousandth time, the game is different. So that's the best part about modern strategy games. Okay. So there are different types of scorecards. In this game, you will only use two. All right. So that itself shows how much of replayability the game has. Now, if you look at the scorecard, this will tell you what is the objective of this particular game we are playing. Okay. So if you look at this, it says if you have a farmland next to a canal, when you're drawing it right in your map, if there is a farm next to the canal, every farm will get 1 point. Okay. Like that, there are different scoring objectives. Okay. This basically says if there are farms next to a granary, you get 1 point for every farm. So there are so many such scoring objectives in this game where, a house next to a mountain will give you 2 points. Okay. And there is two different scoring objectives over here. If you connect a reservoir to a river with canals, you get 3 points for every canal. So that is 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 points if you connect. Okay. So like that, there are different scoring objectives every game. Okay. Now, while people are building their beautiful city, you might have noticed there are some X marks where we have cancelled it out, right? We have crossed it out. So that happens when you're playing this game and suddenly one of the calamities hits you. Okay. So there are different calamities in this game. But you will only use two in a game. So there again, this will be a surprise element. At the start of the game, you just randomly pick any two and then you put it into a deck of cards. Okay, into this deck of cards. And suddenly it'll show up and then you will reveal it. When you reveal it, it'll tell you cross out the star buildings. This star building is actually called a citadel. Okay, that star building, you have to cross it out, and everything that is diagonal to it, one space away, is gone. Okay. So that also happens. There are different such things like drought, where a reservoir goes dry. When the reservoir goes dry, the canals and the farms go dry. Okay. Again, not the entire map, but right next to it. So like that, it's clearly mentioned in the cards, and also in the rule book, we have mentioned in detail. Okay. What gets affected with every calamity, all of the details are there in the rule book. So there are earthquakes, there are floods, there are different such calamities. Locusts are insects which will come and finish off the farm and grain, right? So all that is also there. Now, if you actually look at the rule book, all of the details are there in the rule book. And at the same time, if people want to see a how to play video, again, there are plenty of how to play videos of how to play Indus, okay, on YouTube and other, even on Instagram and things like that. So the rule book actually tells you what are the components, okay, what are the different structures, what do they mean, okay, how to set up the game, how to play the game, everything is mentioned, okay, how you draw it, what you need to draw these structures, how to score, what happens when a calamity hits you, all of the details are there in this rule book. Okay. How to score, that's the beauty about this game. There are multiple ways to score in the game, which makes it extremely replayable. And this is where it tells you what are all the different calamities and what it affects. Okay. But at the start of the game, you will randomly choose two calamities and put it. Now, to reiterate this game, what is Indus all about? Indus is a game where we are building a city in the Indus Valley civilization. Very simple. Next, we are, building our city on a map. All right. Why are we building this city on a map? There are scoring objectives based on which it'll tell you if you built your city with these goals, then you will earn points, extra points. And when does the game end? The game ends when you get hit by calamities. Okay. So that is how it is. And at the end of the game, you'll decide uh, who has the best city and you start scoring. So you start scoring, and there are multiple ways to score in this game. And it's very, very simple. Actually, this game, even senior citizens play this game because it's very light. You have to just fill patterns inside. There are different patterns, as I showed you, right? So they're also very comfortable doing it. And and then you start scoring. And these papers are such a way that it's very high quality. Even if I write on the front side, you will not see any of the marks on the back side. All right, unless it is uh gel pen or something like that. But still, we have noticed that these are very high quality paper. And the box comes with all the components. Again, this is like a river. So you'll notice that the inside is like a river. All of these are made in Bangalore, made in India. There are pens as well. There are 5 pens and all of the other components. Okay. Any questions till now about this game? City building game in the Indus Valley civilization?
No, sir.
Great. So this is a game where how many sheets are there? There are 200 maps, meaning there are 100 sheets. Each sheet is front and back. Okay. So you'd have noticed that each sheet is front and back. So there are 100 sheets. So if you take front and back, it's 200. There are two ways to play the game. This is the basic level. This is the advanced level. That is also there. Yeah. Thank you, Durga. Awesome. So you don't have to go into too much detail. All of the details are there if they just read the back of the box, or if they see this. In case they want to know more, they can always scan the QR code or watch the videos on YouTube. Yeah. Indus is a very popular game across the world. And this is the game which put us on the world map saying finally there's an intelligent game coming out of India, right? Because this is based on Indus Valley and a lot of people don't even know it exists. So let's move to the next game. Is it reusable? No, it's one-time use.
They have enough game.
That's a very good question. It's a one-time use. So typically this game, since 5 people can play at max, even if you use 5 maps, you still have 40 gameplays left in the game. And if they run out of these maps are available for sale.
Can give them an online.
Yeah. So there's a PDF which they can download and print at home also. So all of the details they'll find it the moment they scan the QR code. So don't worry about it. That's a very good question. If they ask, what if the maps run out, which is a very common question we get asked, you can actually order it or just search for the Indus maps online. You'll find them as pairs. All good till now? You guys want a 2-minute break or shall we continue?
I think we can continue.
So after Chaigram, you guys can go for a chai break. So this is the third game from Mosaic. This is again an extremely popular game because it's chai. Uh, this particular game is very simple. You're building a business around your tea stall. Okay. So each one of us are trying to build a business around our tea stall to grab the customers and go up us, to and trying to get star ratings. So it's a very, if you listen to the story, it feels simple, but it's slightly complicated. So this is on the highest level of complexity. Okay. Probably at Hamleys, this would be the most complex game. Okay. So let me just show you how the game is. Again, this how to play videos for this game is available online in, many videos are there. You'll have to assemble the board. Okay. All of that is again mentioned on the back of the box. If you notice the different components, there are a lot of components in this game. Okay. So this is a high strategy game, heavy strategy game. This particular game, let me move the camera. Yeah. This particular game is 1 to 4 players again. So this game can be played solo as well. All right. Um, Again, it takes around 45 minutes to 60 minutes max to finish this game. Okay. So once you learn the rules, it's pretty straightforward. Um, and it's a pretty weighty game. It weighs around 1 kg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this game has a detailed rule book again. It's very straightforward. We all know how to make chai. We just need water, milk, and tea leaves and sugar. So all that is comes very intuitively. What are the different components and stuff like that? The most important thing about this game is the components. The components are very, very, very beautiful. We found a bike indicator manufacturer to make these teacups. So you will find these teacups which it can actually hold 1 ml of water. So you have teacups, you have teapots, and you have certain cubes and stuff like that. And all of that details is mentioned in the rule book where you use them and stuff like that. This is a great game for anybody who's looking for a strategy game, especially people who come from abroad. They are very familiar with these kind of this level of strategy in the games, so they'll be very, very comfortable. So you get 4 different colors, okay, of teapots and of teacups and everything. And in this game you get a tapri. Tapri is a tea stall. So you have different players get different colors for their tea stall. And this are different burners and stuff like that on which you can actually put saucepans and make tea. Okay. So in this game, the goal of the game is very simple. Uh, Let me show you the rule book. Yeah. So there is money, there are coins, and all kinds of things in this game. It's a little on the complex side, but I'll quickly tell you what the game is about. So this is how the board looks. Okay. So There is a mela, and these are customers who are lining up in front of the counters. And our goal is to gain star rating. One second. Let me zoom in a bit. So, in this game, the goal of the game is as a tea stall owner, we are trying to build a business around a tea stall to grab as many customers and as many ingredients and stuff like that to earn star rating. Okay. So the goal of the game is to go up this star rating ladder. And when the game ends, whoever, if the game ends when somebody reaches the top, that is 10 stars. And the game can end a little quickly also. There are different triggers which end the game quickly. So if the game ends quickly, you will just see whoever is at the highest level in the star rating ladder. Okay, we call it the flavor rating. Uh, so each one of us are tea stall owners. We are different vendors. We are competing with each other to, grab customers. How are we grabbing customers? We are trying to prepare some special type of tea, and we are also trying to provide different snacks. So I'll show you how the snack cards are. So there are different ingredients that go into the tea as well. So these are certain additives that you add to make the tea better. So these are the basic teas, which is basically Darjeeling, Kashmiri, Assam. So some of these make green tea, some of these make black tea. Okay. So like that, you have different tea leaves. In fact, these tea leaves shape is based on the actual Darjeeling tea leaf. So when you actually pick up a Darjeeling tea leaf or a Kashmiri tea leaf, that's how the design is. So these are the different teas you make in the game, and you have the basic ingredients, which is sugar, milk, and water and stuff like that. But my favorite part is the snacks. So this is what people love in this game. These snacks are used to break some rules in the game. So it gives you a massive advantage. Like you can give a samosa to a customer and tell them, hey, be happy, I'm giving you this. you know. So these are different rules for each of the cards, and they're very yummy actually. Like pakoras and biscuits, and I'm sure it's tea time for you guys as well. So this game, anybody who likes chai, it's a drool-worthy game. Uh, there are different customers in this game who are coming for different types of tea. They will give you money, and there's a whole concept of how you should not skip a customer in the queue and serve the customer behind them. So if you skip a customer in the queue, they get angry and stuff like that. So that is when they earn something called negative tokens. These are negative tokens where the customer it shows on the card that this customer is angry. Okay. So if they get too angry, they leave the market and go. So the game is pretty straightforward. If you actually see how the mela is, the board and stuff like that. It's very beautifully made. Uh, and also the reason why we have relied on jigsaw puzzle kind of pieces instead of a folding board is to make it extremely durable. So there is no moving parts when you unfold a board and close the board. So these make it extremely durable. And also it stays flat on the table. So you will not see that fold generally when you see a folding board. So yeah, there are customers lining up in the mela. They're all looking for different tea, and as tea stall vendors, we're trying to grab as many customers to unlock something called star rating. So there are some customers who will give you a star rating if you serve them the exact tea. So there are different rules in this game, and your goal is to move up the star rating ladder. So that's how the game is. Um, I would say it's a it's a heavy strategy game. So, if somebody is saying to, this is a new game, you can actually tell them it's very popular in the world because a lot of reviewers and things like that, they have loved the game, especially for the theme and the components. Again, all of these components are made in Bangalore, made in India, and they're extremely durable. And these glasses also form, they have a beautiful, it casts a light and shadow, which is very, very attractive. So people love these cups. We are trying to put a sticker on the box which says these cups are inside, but let's see. But if they just Google for the game or search for it on YouTube, they will find the entire how to play in the game of this particular game. So all of the story again is on the back of the box. You can actually read the story and just tell them as well. But yeah, it's a heavy strategy game. Just remember that. And again, when we say heavy strategy, a lot of families have loved it. All age groups have played this, starting from 8 years onwards. So it's not that complicated also, because people already know. The moment you say chai garam is a game where you're making chai, they already know half of the game. So any questions here?
No, nothing else.
Anything else that you guys want to know?
So I think we should tell them all three together and the relative complexity.
All right. So let's do this. I'll just show you all the games and give you a reiterate the pitch that we use when we sell our games. So it makes it easy for you.
Complexity.
Yeah. So from a complexity wise, this is light strategy, perfect for families who are looking for a fun, loud party game. Okay. It's for 3 to 6 players and finishes in 30 minutes. So it's not complicated or it's difficult to teach or anything like that. It's very easy, because the moment you say it's a boat race, they know that they have to go from one point to the other. But there are some interesting things in this game, which again makes it extremely replayable, is that there are different events that can happen, and we can actually bid for oarsmen and stuff like that. And this is a light strategy game, great for parties. This is another strategy game from us. It's called Indus, based on the Indus Valley civilization. You are building a city in the Indus Valley by drawing on a paper. Okay. It's called a flip and write game, because you're flipping cards and writing. Okay. It's a strategy game where you're building a city, and you hope, the goal of the game is to survive in this game. Even if a calamity hits you, you see how much of your city survives, and the best city wins. Okay. So there are scoring objectives which will change every game. All of these games, even if you play 1,000 times, the game will be different because of the different setups and different cards, different events that happen in the game and stuff like that. And the heavy strategy game is Jagaram. So light strategy, you can say this is light medium, this is heavy. In Chai Garam, you're building a business around your tea stall to grab customers and fulfill goals in order to move up the star rating ladder. You're trying to fulfill goals, certain goals to get star rating to go up the ladder. All right. So all of these games.
Please explain Chai Garam game start. Okay.
Okay. So Chai Garam is a very simple game. All of us are given a tea stall. Okay. So this is a tea stall. In fact, all of that is also mentioned in the rule book. What is it that you have to do at the start of the game? So starting from so this is called the setup. First, you prepare the market. So there's a market area in this game where you have different ingredients. Okay, you can buy saucepans, you can take snacks and all of this. And each player also gets a tea stall. The entire tea stall is made of two boards. Where is the upgrade board? Yeah. So this is how a board is. They have to just keep it next to them on the table. And these are again very solid, nothing to worry. They're super solid. These slots over here is to keep the cubes. I showed you certain cubes, right? That's what the slots are for. You can keep the cubes here to upgrade certain things. But again, I don't want you guys to go too detailed into the game because the customers will find it very overwhelming. All of that is actually written on the back of the box. So if they read the back of the box itself, they'll understand what they're doing in the game. So at the start of the game, every player is given a tea stall board. So this is how a tea stall board is. They can choose the colors. And there is a central board. We call it the Mela. In the Mela, there are customers who are forming up lines or queues in front of the counter. The goal of the game is to unlock certain or reach certain goals, which will give you a star. See, there are some cards which will give you a star. Like, for example, if I served all these red customers, customers wearing the red dress, I will get a star. So, like this, there are some customers who will also give you a star if you fulfill a particular requirement that they have. So these guys are called critics. If you serve whatever they're asking for, this guy is actually asking for a very simple thing, which is milk tea with any leaf, you get a star. So there are different ways to earn stars in this game. One is by fulfilling a critic customer in the Mela, or you fulfill certain goals which are kept. Okay. So at random, these goals are kept on the top of the board. At random, these customers also are placed in the Mela. So there is a deck of cards from which you will start putting the customer cards into the Mela. Now, every time you serve a customer, you earn some money. Like this particular customer, if you serve, you earn this money. This is 3 rupees. So this is how you earn money in order to buy saucepans and upgrades and stuff like that. These are certain saucepans which you can buy to increase the capacity of your tea stall. So in your tea stall, you can keep 3 saucepans. So that will create a supply of chai. With this supply of chai, you can serve to more customers. By doing that, you get more stars and you go up the star rating ladder. Okay, sort of got it. So we're all tea stall owners. We are trying to fulfill certain orders from customers and things like that. Why? To earn stars by fulfilling certain goals and customers' orders. With these stars, we go up the star rating ladder to win the game. Whoever reaches the top wins the game. Yeah, by earning the stars. So you are trying to collect stars throughout the entire game. Does that clarify?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So which game did all of you like?
Actually, look and feel. No, I really like the chai garam, especially the small cups.
Yeah, 100%. So whenever you find time, you should definitely play this
I
game.
will. Also, if you can quickly tell us the MRP of 3 games.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shweta, you want to do that?
So Tiger MRP is 3,299, 3,299. Okay. Indus MRP is 1,799. And Balamkali MRP is 1,499. Okay, so if someone's looking for a budget of, they say, around 1,500, these two will work great. If someone's ready for a little bit more investment of their time and effort into learning, but extremely thinkier experience, but fun at the same time, then you can recommend Chaigaram. And if they say I have large groups, then you can of course Valamkali is the one which accommodates 6 players. This is 5 players. This is 4 players. And if someone says, can I play it alone? Yes, these two games you can play alone. This you can't. You need minimum of three people.
You will
Yeah.
need three
Valam
players.
Kali, you need minimum 3 people to play. Okay. And if they say, I want a quick game, again, Valam Kali is the choice for that. If they say, I don't mind, I like heavy strategy games, I've experienced some of them, you can recommend Chaigaram. Indas works for both the cases, in fact, because it has a light medium weight. So it has 2 levels of complexity. It's a good game for either cases.
So all of these games are great with families.
Yes.
This is fun, loud, light strategy, finishes in 30 minutes. This one finishes in 45 to 60 minutes. This is medium strategy. And this is heavy strategy, Chai Garam, where even this game finishes in 60 minutes max. But it's high on strategy.
Take time to learn first time. Okay, and you can recommend this for adults, for teenagers, and for younger pre-teenagers also who are into board games, who have the enthusiasm to learn. It's not for very young children, of course. It's for about 10 years and above. If they, would like an experience like this, they can easily take
More
it.
importantly, anybody who wants to learn a bit about the Indian culture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they should have the enthusiasm to know what is it.
So we
about.
have many other games also which will slowly be adding, uh, primarily telling a story from India. So it will transport you into one particular world for some time when you're playing the game. So all of these games have themes attached to it. If you actually look at a game like Ludo or Snakes and Ladders, they are called abstract games. In these games have a story, narrative, and a theme to it. Each one of these games, again, we have done a lot of analysis to tell show it in the right light so that they also understand the correct background for each of these games. And all the games have how to play videos online. So if they ask certain questions, like another question which they might ask is how can one player play? Okay. So how to play one player, if only one player wants to play, all the rules are actually mentioned in the game. But in Chai Garam, you have a AI player. Okay. In board games terminology, it's actually called automa, but you don't need to mention all that. You can just say there is an AI player. So we call it ch.ai, Chai. It's actually a vending machine which is taking away all the business from the vendors. So that is how a single player can be played. Each of these games, the reason why they're modern strategy is one, it's not luck based. You're not rolling a dice. And second, uh, there are multiple ways to score in this game, multiple ways to win in this game. So it's not only same way, that's the only way to win. There are multiple ways that you can follow, different strategies that you can follow to win. So if one player is choosing one particular strategy, other players can choose different strategies to win. So that's how it is.